I wonder if Jerry Markbright was coming over to the sideline to say something to Ray Rhodes that maybe they won't put some more time back on the clock here.
The rollout's going to go to your left. Ed West is going to come back into center down here in the end zone. Rodney doesn't see him. He's wide open at this point. Look at all the red jerseys there.
9 seconds left until halftime. Philadelphia has spent its final timeout.
Okay, so now they've got a problem is what they can do as far as getting the ball in the end zone. I mean, you got no timeouts. Can't get a first down here.
Second and goal at the Washington 2. 9 ticks left. Here come the Redskins. Touchdown, Fred Barnett. A very different looking Philadelphia offense today than the team that could manage only 5 Gary Anderson field goals last week.
He's working on Robert Bailey right here. I want you to watch the move he gives him. And you see how Bailey turned his body, he turned his hips and jumped outside a little bit. Just a little bit. Put his weight on the outside and opened up the gate for the inside touchdown.
So Pete to Barnett with 6 seconds left in the half. Anderson tacks on the extra point for Barnett, his 3rd touchdown of the season. And again, Philadelphia's taken a 7-point lead.
See, Rodney, right now, he knows he's got him on the inside. That's the one place Robert Bailey cannot let the receiver down in this part of the field. You have no help inside. Protect your inside at all costs. Make him throw the big one to the corner. Make him throw that one.
Well, Ron, obviously the difference on that drive, Ricky Waters. 17 receiving yards, 19 rushing, and that marvelous play to get out of bounds, stopping the clock deep in Redskin territory.
I saw the Ricky of old. I saw the Ricky from the 49ers last year. A guy that they kept you off balance with because they got him the ball in space. But now, when it comes time to run, you've been so spread out from the pass, you don't know what to do.
Talk about a change of momentum, though. Let's go back to the play when Gus Frerotte fumbled the football. It looked like the Redskins would be leading at halftime.
Oh, well, this is a huge play here. You know, Gus is holding the ball. He gave the pump fake there. He's trying to go downtown to double move. But he's got to see people. He's got to see things. He's got to know that, you know, even though this line has given him protection, he's not in a rocking chair back there.
Now they're going to put it on the ground and try to keep it out of the hands of Brian Mitchell. Vanderbeek just running for the sidelines and was able to get there before the clock expired on the second quarter. A guy who likes to go skydiving, Vanderbeek, you know, you have that kind of courage, but you wonder about a guy like him wanting to carry the ball.
Yeah, well, I look at Vanderbeek and I see special teams written all over him for some reason. I don't know if it's the headband or the hair coming out the back of the helmet, the way he walks. He just says special teams. There's a headband, complete with the eye black.
Washington will just have Frerotte take a knee, putting an end to what has been a wild first half here in Philadelphia. 24-17, the Eagles in front. So that is the end of the first half. Rodney Peete and the Eagles in front by a touchdown. Well, we're back at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. A wild first half, 24-17 in favor of the Eagles. Tom Brennan and Ron Pitts, our entire Fox crew back at the Vet. We didn't expect this, and after only 5 field goals, no touchdowns in the game last week against New Orleans, the win over New Orleans, Rodney Peete's second start in this offense clicking today.
Well, like we talked about, I think this offense has worked better today than it's worked preseason and in the first couple games here. It's all coming together, and ironically, this type of game, we talked about the rivalry and everything, I didn't think it happened. Ironically, for Washington, it comes all together in this first half.
On the other side of the coin for the Washington offense, coming off a great game, particularly on the ground against Dallas, very little, if anything, and the numbers statistically will bear that out in a few minutes.
The thing that stands in my mind is the last sack on Gus Frerotte and the fumble. and that's working over Trey Johnson. Now, you know, he was injured, okay? He had that ankle he hurt in the Oakland game, and he re-hurt it last week. He sat out the last series, in fact, against the Cowboys. When that happens, your technique is a little off, and that's why we see him lunging, okay? Harmon is having a field day over him, to say the least. They might have to get him some help coming out in this second half.
Well, the scoring got started with a bang early on. It was Charlie Garner. We talked about him at the outset, and this was on Philadelphia's very first possession.
Yeah, and the key thing, like we talked about, is the block right here by Ricky Waters coming down on Darrell Green. And also you're going to see right here, Stanley Richard does not take a very good angle to make the tackle. Right there, Green can't duck inside. He should know he's got to stay outside, but it's a good buck. And you see the angle right there by Richard, not very good. And the speed, the underestimation, this is what Ray Rhodes talked about with Gardner. This is a guy I got to get the ball to. Now, they got Gardner and Waters working. That's double trouble for the Redskins.
Well, some of the numbers in the first half, we'll get to those in a bit. And Brian Mitchell, what he does best.
And here's a guy we talked about in the open, and having to stop him on the special teams and making him not a factor in this game, and he's been a complete factor. And not only does he do it in special teams, but the guy does it in regular offense.
Well, we'll return to Veterans Stadium for the start of the second half after these messages from your local Fox station. In Philadelphia, an NFC East clash today, the Redskins and the Eagles. And what a game so far. And just when you start the second half, here comes Brian Mitchell again.
Kick the ball 10 yards out of bounds and take your chances.
Well, Mitchell has never returned a kickoff for a touchdown. He has 6 punts, including one here today. But this time it's William Bell. And he does his best Mitchell impersonation. And he is run out of bounds in Eagle territory at the 47-yard line.
Toot that diesel. Wow. You know, I think everybody relaxed when they saw that Mitchell didn't get the ball, okay? But William Bell, he said, I got a surprise for you folks. Watch the truck right here. Man. He lays out Henderson. Now, see, Henderson's got to watch that in special teams films tomorrow. And they're going to run it back and forth and back and forth.
34-yard return there by Bell. Outstanding field position for the Redskins. At the Philadelphia 47 to the ground. And Terry Allen, not much room. Some of the numbers from the first half dominated statistically by the Eagles.
Yeah, right here, I think that speaks for itself, the way that offense is running. But the things that show you right here, 17, they're moving the ball down the field. And the time of possession, you know, that's not good for Gus Frerotte. He's getting cold. 18 minutes versus 11. They're keeping their offense completely shut down, keeping them cold.
Gain of 3 is 2nd and 7. Wide open Logan in the flat. And he's banged out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
I think they stole the little West Coast now. Logan just shooting out to the flat real quick. There he is right there. He's just going to brace out to the flat, 3-step drop, let it fly. Nobody's out in that corner. They caught him in a man-to-man situation, and that's what happens.
1st and 10 for the Redskins at the Eagle 30. This is Terry Allen, and he is stopped immediately. Harmon, Romanowski, Govea, all in on the tackle. And Andy Harmon, you brought his name up at halftime, Ron. He was inactive last week against New Orleans with a groin injury, questionable here today, and is giving an outstanding effort.
Well, you know, last year now, this guy had 9 sacks. There was some debate. That was number 3 in the NFL. That was some debate as to whether or not he should have been a Pro Bowl player. And I can see it now. Just ask Trey Johnson. And in all fairness to Johnson, Johnson is hurt. He's playing with that ankle, like we talked about. They might have to get him some help.
Barack fires. Very good coverage by Mark McMillan. The smallest player in the NFL, McMillan. At just 5'7", 148 pounds. He looks like the smallest guy on a good high school football team. But he's getting paid to play this game.
You know, they made a change now in the offensive line. We were talking about Trey Johnson, and I said get him some help. Well, yeah, that's a good way to get a guy help, get him out of there.
Bernice Smith.
And he's played well.
Sure has. He's made a couple of starts this season. They played him at center and moved Giesick over to right guard. But Smith in at right guard. Here comes a blitz. Perrott dumps it off to Mitchell. And he's inside the 20 to the Philadelphia 14. First down, Redskins. Taylor, a touchdown saving tackle.
Great job by Perrott. He sees the blitz coming, so they check to what's called a hot read. Meaning we're going to throw it to the first available man, which is him right here. That's Mitchell. And all he wants to do is just get out. See, Frazier has the coverage. Frazier is fooled up front. Frazier's got to be back there.
Brian Mitchell has done it all here today. Mitchell and Waters putting on a clinic.
Special teams, offense, defense clinic, whatever you want to call it.
Back to the ground. Terry Allen inside the 5, down to the 1. Again, Taylor on the tackle. It'll be first and goal, Redskins, as Washington tries to tie it up on this opening possession of the second half.
Watch the cutback. Watch the man-to-man blocking here. Allen's going to come here and then look for whatever seam daylight he can get and take it up in there hard. That's what he does good. And you wouldn't expect a guy that's got 2 knee surgeries, reconstructive, to get that kind of drive up in a hole like that, but he does. And that's why he's a plus for this team.
Howie Long giving the Allen story before the game. Tries to go over the top. And did not get in. The ball came loose, but they're saying that the ground caused the fumble. Romanowski, the first man to meet him, along with Mike Chilinsky, third-year pro out of your alma mater, UCLA.
Watch the line surge. The white shirts, they get the lowest. That means the white shirts, the linebackers can come over the top and make the play, and that's exactly what Romanowski and the rest of the boys do.
Second and goal. Bell in motion, pitch to Allen. Flag down. He did not get in. This may be holding against the Redskins. Let's see. Well, it's against Washington. Motion. And they'll back up Norv Turner's team. Last week, the Redskins got inside the Dallas red zone 3 times.
Second down.
Came away with 3 touchdowns.
Well, that's the key. You come away with touchdowns. You know, yeah, if you can get a field goal, okay, but boy, when you go down in there and you score, that's what you call making the most of your opportunities. The motion right there. Jenkins was going toward the line of scrimmage as the ball was snapped, trying to get a head start on that block. You can't do that.
Second and goal from the 6. Perrott, lots of time, and missed a wide open tight end, James Jenkins.
Oh, he had Jenkins, and I tell you, you know what I thought of? I thought of that play down in Tampa Bay when he had Galbraith open, wide open, and didn't see him. That time he had Jenkins wide open. He tried to come back. That's Jenkins right down in there. He's in that traffic, and you see he's going to work back to the outside. Gus is going to see him at the last minute. See, he's working now. But that's a tough throw. That's a tough throw. Gus Perrott's got a good arm, but he doesn't have that kind of arm to make that throw.
Third and goal. From the 6, Perrott in trouble. Scramble. Oh, took a lick. And is belted by Sordich at the 2. And apparently Norv Turner debating over on the far side on what would be a 4th and goal for the Redskins.
I tell you what, I'm surprised Gus Perrott got up after that hit.
Redskins are going to go for it.
Everybody's covered downfield, so Gus decides he's going to be the hero. You pay a price as a hero sometimes.
4th and goal at the 1. And now a timeout on the field. Philadelphia spending a timeout. Raced a lot of personnel onto the field right before that 4th down and goal. We'll have that when we come back. Not much thinking involved here. 4th and goal from the 1. Redskins trail.